The Viking Age is often romanticized as a time when Norse warriors dominated the seas, raiding and trading across Europe. However, there was a formidable group that even the Vikings feared. These Slavic pirates, originating from the southern coast of the Baltic Sea, were notorious for their fierce raids and naval power. Their history is filled with stories of sea battle and brutal plundering. Their location allowed them to control key maritime roads, which made them a significant power in the Baltic region. Today, we will try to answer this question: who were the Wends? Before we get into it, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel. It's the channel's goal to be at 1,000 subscribers, so please subscribe. The origin of the Wends takes us to a company of Slavic tribes living in what we now call Poland and Germany. These people were both sailors and warriors, which made them really good at protecting their lands and launching aggressive raids on others. Their skills on the Baltic Sea allowed them to mess with trade routes and strike fear into their enemies. Wendish society was built around warrior leaders who were known for their bravery and smart tactics in leading people into battle. The Wends' ability to sail the Baltic Sea with ease gave them a huge advantage over their enemies, including the Vikings. They didn't just fight for survival, they fought to show their strength and to keep control over their lands and sea roads. So, while the Vikings were busy raiding across Europe, they were holding their own and then some, proving that the Wends were a real threat in the Baltic region. Wendish piracy really took off in the early medieval period. They built fast, agile ships that could handle the rough Baltic waters, letting them to surprise coastal towns and merchant ships. Their raids were not just about getting rich. They were also about showing their strength and keeping their rivals, like the Vikings, on their toes. They knew their local geography and sea routes inside out, which helped them stay ahead of their enemies. Their hit-and-run tactics made them unpredictable and dangerous. The Wends were masters at striking quickly and disappearing before anyone could catch them. This strategy allowed them to pull off many successful raids with minimal losses. However, they didn't just work alone. They formed alliances with other tribes, which boosted their power and reach. These alliances were key to their dominance, ensuring they had a steady flow of resources and support. As their reputation for successful raids and naval battles grew, so did their legend. The encounters between the Wends and the Vikings were brutal and relentless. While the Vikings had a reputation for their fearsome longships and ferocious warriors, they found themselves matched by the Wends' naval expertise and tenacity. Historical records describe fierce battles on both land and sea, with both sides suffering heavy casualties. One of the most infamous clashes occurred during the late 10th century when the Danish king Harald Bluetooth attempted to subdue the Wendish pirates. Despite his efforts, the Wends managed to repel the Viking forces, showcasing their resilience and tactical prowess. These battles were not just about territorial control, but also about survival and asserting dominance in a fiercely competitive environment. A huge part of the Wends' success was their knack for spreading fear. Tales of their savage raids traveled fast, sparking panic and making many scramble to strengthen their defenses. This atmosphere of constant dread played right into the Wends' hands. By keeping their enemies anxious and unsettled, they stayed ahead in battles and maintained their control over the Baltic waters. The Wendish pirates' reign of terror eventually began to wane in the 12th century. This decline was due to several factors, including increased military pressure from neighboring kingdoms and internal strife among the Wendish tribes. The rise of the Christianization movement in the region also played a role. as it led to the establishment of more organized and centralized states that could better defend against pirate raids. Additionally, the economic landscape of the Baltic Sea region started to change, with more robust trade networks and better defended merchant fleets. The Wends, who had thrived on disruption and plunder, found it increasingly difficult to sustain their pirate activities. By the end of the 12th century, the once feared Wendish pirates had largely been subdued. Regardless of their decline, they are remembered as brutal warriors who dared to challenge even the mighty Vikings. Their story adds a fascinating layer to the rich tapestry of medieval European history, where shifting alliances and relentless conflicts shaped the destinies of entire peoples. They had an essential role in the region's history, as they were involved in various interactions with neighboring tribes, the Holy Roman Empire, and the Vikings. Over time, the Wends assimilated with other cultures and were absorbed into larger political entities, but their legacy remains a fascinating part of European history. By understanding the Wends' contributions, we gain insight into the broader movement of peoples and cultures across medieval Europe. The Wends, with their bold raids and unbreakable spirit, carved out a unique place in history as one of the few groups that the Vikings truly feared. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed, please hit the like button and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching.